how about a round brush tutorial?
First off, I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt so my bingo wings don't jump out and knock the camera over. That would be no good for anybody. These quarantine snacks are out of control.
Okay, so before we get started, the first thing I did was prep my hair with Kerastase Nutritive Nectar Thermique. I love this stuff, it's my favorite. It's important to use a blowout balm or a heat protectant of some sort so you're not just frying your hair with heat. I'm also going to be using an ionic blow dryer. Why? An ion, without going into too much science, really just helps to make your hair smooth. It closes that hair shaft down, making your hair smooth, making your blow dry faster, decreasing frizz, etc., etc. It's also very important to select a brush based on what kind of hair you have. I have very fine, just very fine hair. It's long, it's fine, it's kind of has a little bit of a wave pattern to it. But if you have coarse, frizzy, curly hair, boar bristles are probably going to be more of your best friend because they'll grip the hair better. They help to really smooth the hair out. And then how you approach your blow dry is going to be a little bit different too. So for my type of hair, I'm going to start out and rough dry it just a bit. Get a little bit of the water out up to 75-80%. If I had coarse, frizzy, curly hair, I would probably go ahead and section my hair off, and then I would go ahead and start with a boar bristle brush and start to really mold how I want that hair and to dry it that way. Okay, I got a lot of the moisture out of it. The job of the round brush is basically to polish the hair, give it some shape to polish the hair. Continue to close that hair shaft and to smooth it out. So when I was drying it, I'm really focusing on the root, getting everything at my scalp dry. That way I can focus from here down and just round brush that out, okay? And now I'm going to section my hair using duckbill clips just to get it out of the way. If I had bangs or any like frizziness going on around my face, I'd probably start there first. But since I don't really, I'm gonna start in the back, in the bottom. I'll be working with a bigger round brush right now. It is important to keep in mind too that I'm not gonna take, just like if I were using a curling iron, this is also a styling tool. I'm not gonna take any pieces of hair that are thicker than this or wider than this, or else I will lose that heat control that I need in order to style my hair. Also, the hair will be too thick for that heat and that air to disperse evenly and it won't dry. Therefore, I'll get frizz. It's not gonna evenly smooth out. So, I also have the nozzle on my blow dryer. This is going to help concentrate the air and the heat going down the hair shaft the entire time. These two sections done so far. It takes a lot of practice to do this, but I'm going to show you another tool that you can use that may simplify things if this is too hard. So this is the blow dryer brush by Revlon, and it is freaking amazing. It has, you can see the shape of it is round, but it also has some flat edges too. So when you're using it, you can really smooth your hair, and then you can start to turn it for that little bend right there at the ends. So again, before you use this, you'd want to rough dry your hair. And this is for fine hair, but you'd want to rough dry your hair. Get a lot of that moisture out because all you're doing now is finishing up with this. You're polishing your hair with this. You're finishing and closing that cuticle down with this. So my next section is pulled down in the front. The already completed parts are in the back. If you have shorter hair, you might want to do section or piece by piece. That way it doesn't get mixed up with the already dried parts. I'm going to start elevating this a little bit because the more you blow dry your hair in the opposite direction it wants to grow, it will give you volume. So my hair wants to grow like this. It's going down. I'm gonna pull it up and out just a little bit so it bumps it up. So the settings on this are off, cool, low, and high. I would start out with low to begin with just to practice until you can get the hang of things because high is really fast air and it's really high heat, and you could do some damage pretty quickly. So practice on low first until you get the hang of it. This is high. I'm gonna put the brush right up under there. And pull up. Grab it, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna start with my top section now, and I'm gonna go back to my round brush because I feel like I have a little more control with that. So I'm gonna use this piece here. And I'm pulling up and out, all while making sure the air, the direction of the air is going down the hair shaft. So my blow dryer might be like this, going down, or you can also pull it up, but see the air is still going down. Hopefully that makes sense, because you're closing that cuticle down, all while elevating it, giving it a little bit of lift. Okay, I've got this top middle section here that is on either side of my part. So I'm taking my finger and kind of dividing it in half like that. I'm gonna get this out of the way and blow dry this. I'm gonna get it also helps to kind of get your round brush in place. I'm gonna get that in place and go to town. Okay, last piece. I'm gonna take this down, get my round brush in place. Now for this one, I'm going to dry it down like this. Go on the other side and dry this way. I've got a little bit of a fringe around the sides of my face, so I'm gonna kind of make it go up and out. Then you kind of run your hands through it and just kind of put it into place. To see if you have layers, it kind of gives you a little bit of extra movement. It'd be really hard to achieve a lot of lift and those pieces if I just had one length. So I'm a big advocate for layers. I love them. And they work on my hair very well. So they need to be done again, but this is kind of a nice start, right? I hope that helps. Happy quarantine.